Good morning, children. So, we are discussing Darwin's Darwin's theory of Darwin's theory of natural selection. We are discussing, right? So, in that yesterday we discussed about which one his book name is. What is the book name? His book name, The Origin of Species. The Origin of Species by natural selection. Natural selection. This point we discussed in the up to in the yesterday class, and also some several facts. Okay, based on some several facts about the Darwin theory, observations, several facts, observations and influences. Observations and influences we discussed, right? What are the observations and influences of the Darwin theory? First one is overproduction, we discussed. So, overproduction. Number two, what we discussed? Struggle for existence. These are the most important points we discussed in that. Okay. So, overproduction, salmon fish. Example, what is it? Salmon fish. Okay, salmon fish, some millions of eggs like that. Struggle for existence, especially for food. Okay, and some mate like that, they will be struggle, and who have the fitness, they will only survive like that. We discussed. So today, continuity of the topic we are discussing. What are those struggle for existence after universal? We discussed also intra and inter. Okay, intra and interspecific struggle. Intra and interspecific struggles. Okay, these are all points also we discussed. The next concept is universal. What we call universal occurrence of variation. What are these? Universal occurrence of variation. Okay, variations. So children, observe carefully what according to this universal occurrence of variations. First point, no two individuals are alike. No two individuals. No two individuals are like. This is the first point you should have to remember. The second one, there are little variations. Variations are there. There are little variations are there, even in identical twins. Even in identical twins also variations are there. Even children, same parents. Okay, children, they have changes. They have some variations are there. Same parents have children. They have a different color. Okay, different color and what you call height, color, height, and behavior. This is the thing you should have to remember: height and behavior. The useful variations. Useful variations. Remember this point also. Useful variations in an organism. In an organisms help them to overcome struggle. Okay, some new good variations, useful variations, they can overcome the struggles. So these variations, so what useful variations? Okay, variations which are useful, they will be what you called, they will be transfer to next generations. These are the points. Who told Darwin? Next one. What is said? Origin of species by natural selection. Origin of what you call species. Origin of species by natural selection. So how nature nature selected the species also one of the factor. Nature is the most powerful. Nature is the most powerful. Okay, this point you should have to remember. Nature is the most powerful selective force. Okay, selective force. This point you should have to remember. Origin of species. So, origin of species by natural selection. So, small isolated group is there. For example, small isolated group. From this, what nature done? Nature selects the species. Okay, nature selects the species which is perfectly fit. Okay, struggle for existence. Struggle for existence leads to okay, what will happen? Survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. Okay, these points you should have to remember. Survival of the fittest, so they can adopt better conditions or whatever it may be. Adopt better. Okay, children, observe very carefully. We are discussing about Darwin's theory of natural selection. What we are discussing? Darwin's theory of natural selection. Darwin wrote one book. The book name is The Origin of Species by Natural Selection. What is this book name? Already yesterday in the class we discussed. Origin of Species by Natural Selection. So, there are several facts, observations, influences about what Darwin's theory. Okay, mainly based upon these only, what you call, based on several facts, observations and influences. So these several facts, observations and influences on the Darwin theory proposed. What are the several facts? Why struggle for existence, survival of the fittest will come? Because, for example, overproduction salmon fish example I said. If they hatch at a time millions of eggs, total ocean will become salmon fish only, but not happening. Why? Who have the fitness, reproductive fitness, they are only surviving, remaining or eliminating from the competition. And also struggle for existence, food, mate, habitat. Those who will be struggle effectively, they will only will become fittest one. So, and also intraspecific struggles in between the same species, in between the different species, struggles are there in that who will be struggle effectively, they will be fit. Like that, facts also with the good examples Darwin theory proposed. Universal occurrence of variations. This is another fact or another what you call observation. What is the universal occurrence of variations? For example, no two individuals are alike. If see my fingerprints, my way of speaking is different than yours. So that is no two individuals are alike by variations. So these variations are very important, which have the good variations. They are selecting by the nature. Means good means protecting from the floods or natural habitats and enemies who have the good variations, good adaptive conditions. Okay, they can only survive. So like that, variations even in identical twins also variations are there. They are not similar. Even the children are coming from same parents also, they're different in color, height and behavior. So because of the useful variations in an organisms help them to overcome struggle and those variations are useful, and they are passing to which one? Next generations. See how the variations are useful to the next generation. Next one, origin of species by natural selection. This is another factor, another observation. Nature is the most powerful. So right now we are on the earth, in the sense nature selected us because we are adapting the different climatic conditions, different problems, and we are struggling. That's why nature selected us to survive on the earth. So nature is the most powerful selective force. Small, for example, small isolated group. In the small isolated group, nature selects the only nature selects the species. Okay, which one is a very good, which one will be struggle, which one will be fit, that one selected by the nature selects the species. So struggle for existence leads to survival of the fittest. Then that fittest species adapt the better environmental conditions and lead its progenies in the next generations. So these all are what we called facts. What are that one? Overproduction, struggle for existence, universal occurrence of variations. Okay, then origin of species by natural selection. These all are several facts to what? To prevent the Darwin theory of natural selection. So, but some objections are there about this. These all are observations, very good observations, very clear cut facts. But some objections are there in the Darwin's theory. What are those the objections we are going to discuss? Some objections are there. Objections of Darwin theory. Objections of Darwin theory. What we called Darwin failed to explain. What? Darwin failed to explain. Okay, this point you should have to remember. Darwin failed to explain the mechanism of variation. Mechanism of variation. He failed about the how the variations are coming in the species. Next one, Darwin explains survival of fittest. Darwin explain survival of the survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest, but he did not explain the not about the not the arrival of the fittest. Arrival of fittest. Which one is arriving? Fittest one, how that is arriving, that one he did not explain. Next one, he focused on small fluctuating variations that are mostly non-heritable. Small, what you call? Small fluctuating variations. Small fluctuating variations. Okay, he focused on small fluctuating variations. Okay, these all are mostly non-heritable. Mostly non-inheritable means which will not pass from one generation to another generation. This point, some variations only he focused, and those also not inheritable. Next, what he told, another problem is he did not distinguish. He did not. This point also is very important. He did not distinguish. Okay, he did not distinguish between somatic and germinal variations. Somatic and germinal variations. Somatic means normal, vegetative. Germinal means reproductive relative variations. He did not told about what are somatic variations, what are germinal variations. He did not give clarity. Next one. So explain. He did not explain. Did not explain. What he did not explain, very very important. He did not explain occurrence of vestigial organs. Occurrence of vestigial, what do you call, vestigial organs. This point you should have to remember. Did not explain occurrence of vestigial organs. Number two, over, what do you call, over specialization. Over specializations of, okay, some organs like, some organs like, okay, over specialization, okay, over specialization of some organs like large tusks. Large tusks. He could not explain. Not explain about, what you call, not explain about about what? Over specialization of some organs like large tusks in extinct, in extinct 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 mammoths. Okay, this point also one of the important. And oversized 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 antlers. Okay, antlers in the extinct Irish deer. Extinct Irish deer, etc. Some more examples also there. These are the points. Okay, okay children, observe very carefully. These are the things most important. We are discussing about objections of Darwin theory, some problems. Okay, struggle for existence, survival of the fittest, what you call origin of species by natural, all are good, extraordinary Darwin theory. But some objections are there. What are the objections? Darwin failed. Darwin failed to explain the mechanism of variations, how the changes are happening, how the new characters are forming, how the new, what you call, species are showing the new characters. He did not explain. That is the first point. The first objection. Second one, Darwin explains survival of the fittest. Okay, who have the fitness that only survive, like that is explained. But he did not explain about arrival of the fittest. How new one is coming. How that is showing the new characters. How the new one is arriving. That one he did not explain. Arrival of the fittest he did not explain. And he focused on, Darwin focused on only small fluctuating variations, small changes, that too which are non-heritable. So he did not focus on large variations and which are heritable. He focused on small variations that are non-heritable. And he did not distinguish, another point, he did not distinguish between the somatic, means vegetative, and germinal variations. So what are the somatic cell variations? What is sexual reproduction or sex cells, germinal variations? He did not give clarity at all. And he did not explain about occurrence of vestigial organs. What are the vestigial organs are there, and what are the why they are vestigial. Also he did not give any explanation about that. And he did not explain about over specialization of some organs, like over specialization. What is the reason of speciality of these particular organs? He did not. What are the large tusks in extincted mammoth, oversized antlers in extinct Irish deer? What are those what you call organ specialization, and what is the tusks importance? What is the antlers and antlerisms, okay, importance in the extincted Irish deer? He did not give explanation. So that's why these all are objections of the Darwin theory. Later, neo-Darwinism came. What what you called neo-Darwinism. So objections, once you have to remember, he did not tell about arrival of the fittest. He did not tell about, he did not focus about fluctuating, big fluctuation variations, and he did not distinguish between somatic and general variations. He did not explain about vestigial organs. He did not explain about the over specialization of some organs like tusks in the extincted mammoth and oversized antlers in the Irish deer. So these all are what uh, objections of the what you called Darwin's theory. Simply said survival of the fittest, but he did not say arrival of the fittest. And struggle for existence. That's all only he said, but he did not give complete information about how variations are and how arrival of fittest one coming. He did not give explanation. Next one, neo-Darwinism. Neo-Darwinism. This point you should have to remember. Neo-Darwinism is the interpretation of Darwin. What is called? Interpretation. Interpretation. Okay. Interpretation of Darwinian. What is called? Darwinian. Most important, evolution. Darwinian evolution. Okay. Through natural selection. Through natural selection. Through natural selection. Okay. As it has been modified. As it has been modified. So natural selection theory modified, as it has been modified. Okay. Since it was proposed. Since it was proposed. These are the things you should have to. Some modifications, the neo-Darwinists, okay, they are explained about that neo-Darwinism. Okay, so what that new facts, okay, and discoveries, new facts and discoveries. These are the things they have to they included in this about evolution, about evolution have led to modifications of Darwinism and is supported very very important, and is supported by who are the scientists. Okay, the scientists, number one, these points you should have to remember. Who are the scientists? Wallace, number one, and Heinrich. Next, Haeckel. Okay, these are the scientists, Haeckel and Weizmann and Mendel. Okay, these are the scientists especially involved in the neo-Darwinism. Okay, this theory emphasizes the change in the frequency. This theory, what he called, emphasizes what he called the change in the changes or the change in the frequency okay, frequency of genes in population. Okay, so mutations like that, not changes in the gene frequencies. Okay, arises due to very very important, arises due to mutation. Number one, arises due to mutation and variation. Next, isolation. Okay, isolation and natural selection. Natural selection. So these points you should have to remember. Okay, children, observe very carefully. Neo-Darwinism. It is interpretation, some changes of through Darwin evolution through natural selection, some interpretation of Darwinism. So, what is Neo-Darwinism? Interpretation of Darwinian evolution through natural selection. Some little what you call facts. Some little facts are modified what you call natural selection of Darwin's theory. Okay, so what is the Neo-Darwinism? So it is the natural selection theory modified since it was proposed. How? Some new facts and discoveries about evolution have led to modifications of Darwinism and is supported by Wallace, Heinrich, Haeckel, Weizmann, Mendel. New facts. Because of the new facts and discoveries about evolution have led to modifications. Because of the new facts and discoveries, some modifications in the Darwinism and supported these new facts and what we call the new discoveries. Some modifications happened in the theory. That's why we are calling Neo-Darwinism. Who are those modifications and supported by Wallace, Heinrich, Haeckel, Weizmann, Mendel? The scientist names you should have to remember: Wallace, Heinrich, Haeckel, Weizmann, and Mendel. So this neo-Darwinism emphasizes the what you call most important thing, the changes in the frequency of genes. Most important. Why new variations are okay? Why arrival of new best fittest one is coming? Because frequency of the genes in the population changing. That's why arises due to what do you call why this your frequency of genes are changes in the frequency of genes are happening because of mutations, variations, isolation, and natural selection. Nature only creating some disturbances, and who are facing the disturbances only leads the our survival. Like that, who the great Wallace, Heinrich, Haeckel, Weizmann, Mendel supported the Neo-Darwinism. So what is that main thing is change in the frequency of the genes in the population arises. Why? These all genes frequencies are changing because of which one? Mutations means sudden changes, variations, some changes from parents to offsprings, suppression, isolation, and natural selection. These are only main reason for new species formation. Like that, Neo-Darwinism is giving complete picture about the mutations, variations, isolations, and natural selection. So we are going to discuss about what is called the mutation theory. What is called mutation theory? Who proposed the mutation and what is mutation theory? We are going to discuss. How many members know evening primrose? Oh, you know Tiana, Lamarckiana, and the person who is that person? Hugo Everest. Okay. So, what is mutation theory? We are going to discuss mutation theory. What is mutation theory? Hugo de Vries. Point remember Hugo de Vries. Hugo de Vries put forth the mutation theory. So, mutation theory is only created. First part. Okay, mutation theory. The second one, what is mutation? Sudden. What is called? Sudden random changes. Sudden random changes. Okay, that occur in the organisms. Okay, occurs in organisms. Occurs in organisms. This point you should have to remember. Which are not heritable. Not heritable. Very, very important. It is not heritable. debris, okay, changes that occur in the organism that is not heritable. Some random changes occurs in organism that are not heritable. These are very important. Next one, he did experiments on evening primrose. Experiments. Oh, whatever is did the experiments on plants. Experiments on which one? Primrose. Primrose plant. That is also called, what is that is called? Eno. What is called? Enothera. Enothera lamarckiana. Lamarckiana. Enothera lamarckiana. And I observed the variations. Okay, and he concluded that for these variations, why the variations are coming? Due to mutations. He said. Okay, so what is the, according to the, what we call the debris, sudden, most important, the sudden and large variations are responsible for the origin of new species. This is a point you should have to remember. Origin of new species. Genes only main reason for the formation of new species. Okay. Next, Lamarck and Darwin. What Lamarck and Darwin believed in gradual accumulation of all variations, as the causative factors. Causative factors are in the origin of new species. Like that, Lamarck and Darwin said about that one. Okay, children. So once we have to get the clarity about this mutation theory. What I said, very carefully should listen. Mutation, a sudden heritable changes, sudden changes in the genes called mutations. This mutation only main reason for the formation of the new species and arrival of the fittest and so many new characters, everything because of the mutations. Hugo de Vries is a great scientist, first proposed the mutation theory. He said sudden, very important this point, sudden random changes occurs in organisms which are not heritable. So these are not heritable. Those which one sudden random changes are not heritable, but suddenly happen developing in the organisms. They are called mutations. So Hugo de Vries done the experiments on which one? Primrose plant. What is a primrose plant scientific name? Oenothera lamarckiana. That's the bit. So Oenothera lamarckiana. So he done the observation. So many variations are observed in this plant, and because for what these variations are forming in this plant, confirmed by what we called mutations. Mutations only main reason for the variations in this Oenothera lamarckiana. What is that mutation? Sudden, what we called sudden and large variations are responsible for the what we called new species. Sudden and large variations. Sudden and means suddenly. Large variation changes are responsible for the origin of new species. Means mutations are the main reason for the origin of new species. Like that, mutation theory is there. But what Lamarck and Darwin believed in gradual accumulation of all variations. So small variations, all gradually accumulation, and they causative factors in the, because of the accumulation of variations only, main factors of origin of new species. Like that, the mutation theory developed by Hugo Davis. So, tomorrow's class, what we will discuss is in the tomorrow's class, silent futures. Okay, silent features of mutation theory. We will discuss silent features of this theory, mutation theory. In the tomorrow's class, we will be discuss. Okay, children, so please listen very carefully. These all are the important only. You have to be very careful.